Get out back to the
we
woodshed.
kind of late to the party with this one because we haven't met in a while, but I had to go out of town and all that stuff.
Being
But
silly, of course.
But BET announced the indefinite. So look, I like the words they use because they're contradictory, and I'll tell you why as we have the discussion. But BET announced the indefinite suspension of both the BET Hip Hop Awards and the Soul Train Awards, citing stagnant ratings and financial pressure. CEO Scott Mills described it's not really ending, but it's a moment to reimagine the format and platform for evolving media tastes. The decision underscores a broader challenge in honoring music culture within a shifting television landscape. So for independent artists, this raises important considerations about how institutional recognition now adapts or may exclude the indie space. And so here's the reason why I say it's contradictory. Indefinite means...
Well, it means that it could possibly come back.
Does it? But does it though?
Yeah.
Yeah, because definite would mean that it definitely is not.
Right.
Indefinite means that they can say that the door is closing, but the door is not closed.
The door is closing.
Yeah, it's not closed.
It is not closed all the way. So you can,
that's right.
So you can still slide a little foot in there somewhere.
That's it. And basically, I'm going
Peekaboo.
to go ahead and tell you what needs to happen. And they just got to figure it out.
Let us know.
So the landscape in terms of what people will pay for has changed. They've been losing sponsorship every year because we currently are in a scenario right now where we have an administration that is not really about the support of minorities of any type. And so whereas you may have had a BET Awards that had a huge sponsorship from Johnson & Johnson or a huge spot, like I would assume that next year Target will probably not be a sponsor for Essence Fest as they have been in the past.
And Coca-Cola.
So companies like that are no longer doing initiatives that support minority organizations or programs. When that happens, that's the money that they were using to either pay talent or to pay all of the production staff. And that money is going away. They've got to create a different format. They're going to have to include more than just the music. They're going to have to start bringing in streamers and stuff like that and creating categories that will encompass those other parts of the media world, right? Because then you can get Apple to sponsor it. You can get Amazon to sponsor it. You can get Netflix to sponsor it and host it because they know it's going to be a broader push. You can still incorporate the minority piece into it, of course. It can be, it's probably going to have to be broader.
I mean, it's BET, so it's got to be minor.
Yes, it needs to be.
I would hope so.
But it's going to have to be done in a way where, in a current climate where we are basically a pig, we're going to have to figure out how to put some lipstick on this pig if we intend to get money from the people that are writing the checks that have gotten us where we are. Otherwise, it's unfortunate that we can't come together as communities of those the haves to support the haves. Like, we're not asking for awards programs for the homeless. These are opportunities to celebrate people who, in theory, most of them are more well off than we are, and they can't put money. Like, you telling me Tyler Perry?
Well, remember they tried to buy BET.
Yeah,
they tried to purchase
Magic
BET.
Johnson and Tyler Perry and the guy who made the
Ray Daniels and
all of these millionaire minorities. We can't get on the same page.
Frederick Smith, Robert Smith.
Yeah, Robert F. Smith.
The billionaire.
Yeah, billionaire. Yeah,
we can't. Those are.
But is it in their interest to do that though? Is it in their interest?
Man, that show was trash. That's why. If the show was
trash.
The show was
if
trash.
the show was any good, they wouldn't have no problem with sponsoring because everybody be watching it. The ratings would be up. The show was trash.
But who would sponsor it?
The black moral fiber is trash at its core.
Sure.
It's trash. It's not good.
Glorilla won the gospel.
Shannon Sharp won the hip hop media.
Trash. So that's why I say burn it to the ground. Burn it to the ground and rebuild it the right way. So that's what I got to say.
It's probably not coming
Shannon
back.
Sharp wanted
because
that's why I don't think it's coming back.
Because Ty, you're talking like we working for a charity. Like, how can we raise money? If it was popping,
nah, man,
they'll come to it.
No, that's how all these things work, bro. All of them. I don't care if it's the AMAs. I don't care if it's any major award show you can think of. All them commercial breaks where they say this section is sponsored by this and that. Nobody pays for their own stuff. It doesn't, and that's not even a black or white thing. Well, white people definitely don't pay for their own stuff. They use credit for everything, but they don't pay for. It's always this was brought to you by Downey, and this is brought to you by Lexus, and this they don't pay for their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Two things though. Number one, I forgot my first point.
That's crazy. I mean, say number one. I ain't got it.
One of the points that I was gonna make on the first or the second point is that overall award shows have been kind of going down with ratings, and I think the quality of a lot of the shows have been going down in general. But number two, that's the one I forgot. I guess what I'm trying to say is that at its core, if the shows were better, they would have it's black and white. Like you get eyeballs on it, sponsors are gonna want to flock to be a part of it because they're gonna.
But that's why I say you've got to create a product that is viable. If you tell them that Mr. Beast is gonna be there, or in our case, if you tell them that Kai Cenat is gonna be there, he already has sponsorships.
Yep.
So now his sponsors are like, oh, this becomes a great opportunity for us to not just be seen on somebody's computer screen, but also on television screens. They'll put money up.
But I don't know how I feel about that because particularly with the hip hop awards, how does that affect the integrity of hip hop? I mean,
at this point, it's hand in hand. They're tandem. Every great rollout requires the artist to go onto a stream.
Don't even know who Wale is. So think about that. So
every artist,
how you gonna pay him to be a? You get what I'm saying?
Every artist who wants to be in what they consider a relevant space, you don't see them on late night shows no more. You see them on Kai Cenat stream.
Well,
they're not going to.
That begs
Conan or whoever anymore.
The bigger question.
Ain't no Arsenio no more.
Nope.
They on Kai Cenat stream.
They on Kai Cenat
and so
stream.
therefore he has made himself relevant, especially to our culture when it comes to music.
I'll give you this much. Conan, Jimmy Fallon, and all them. But Jimmy Fallon actually knows a little bit of hip hop. I think wasn't he in the Zulu Nation? Anyway.
I don't know, but the Roots is his band. Roots is his house band.
But even him though, like to your point, you can't expect them to necessarily be like all in the culture, like Conan and Jay Leno.
No.
So
it becomes academic. Think about the people who have platforms that are media that have crossed into. So it becomes Joe Budden. It becomes academic. It becomes Kai Cenat. It becomes everywhere that artists think that they need to be in order to be seen for their culture.
I'll give you Joe Budden academics. At least they know the culture.
Right.
Whether or not you think they're good for the culture or not, but at least they know the culture.
At least they know the culture.
They know what it's like.
I'll give it that.
I'm sure academics and Joe Budden know who Wale is, right?
That's true, but let's just be fair. There's always different sectors, and it's the same reason why something like the BET Awards would have a section where you got let's just say like Outkast and Bone Thugs, and they bring all of them out there, right? And then they turn around and they have Doechii and they have Glorilla. Those are two different ends of the spectrum in terms of the age groups that this is giving the younger generation exposure to the older hip hop, that gives the older hip hop exposure to what is currently going on. Right now, where Kai just represents the younger portion of hip hop. So to your point, if you got Joe Budden there and you got Kai there, you're representing both the I want to say old.
The old and new.
Yeah, it is old and new, but I don't want to
old and young.
But current, what's current, and what is really part of the fabric of the culture itself.
But I can't hold Kai Cenat to a certain level of journalistic integrity because he's not a journalist. You know what I mean? He's not a hip hop journalist.
He don't even really be on there.
He's a stream guy,
a journalist.
Right? He's a streamer that just happened to be very popular and made a whole lot of money, and now he's a millionaire.
Little to
streamer.
no questions.
Right? To me, I don't think he has that journalistic fortitude, I guess, to be able to know who this Wale is versus this person. Yeah. He's not a journalist.
He's not trying to.
But he's not trying to.
But why do we try to prop him up? Bring him to our awards?
We didn't prop him up. He earned his spot.
I get what I'm saying.
Why are we trying to use him to
because he represents what is new.
Yeah, but it's the hip hop awards, bruh.
but he represents what is new.
He
in
represents
hip-hop.
that new side.
Burn it down. If you gotta resort to that, burn it down
I'm
because
just
now
saying,
you're
in all
destroying the integrity of
fairness-
hip hop.